So I thought it's never gonna happen, but here is what happened to my van.
Hello YouTube video watchers, another familiar sight, A&A Carpentry van going onto a flatbed. See you in a week, viewers, bye.
So my viewers will probably know that I'm driving a Ford Transit Custom 2.2 Euro 5. So I had no really problems with it for the first 5 years. I bought it from new, serviced it on time, did service probably more often than required, so I maximum had once 10,000 miles done on one oil change or between oil changes. So yeah, never really overrun that side, so that wouldn't be a cause for the problem we have or I had with the engine. The saddest thing is it's done only a 58,000 miles when it happened, and that is gutting. First year when I got it, I think after first year I got a TDI tuning box because I racked it all out, had my stuff in, it did feel heavy, so I did that to make things better, so it's more drivable, so it doesn't struggle as much, which it did help. I must say, comparing how it was original and with that tuning box, it helped a bit, but it wasn't great. But because obviously it was still in warranty period, they didn't want to make it, so it was the warranty. So as many people would do, they put those tuning boxes on, but I don't think it was great. So for future, I would suggest you just get a proper remap. Don't mess around with them boxes, they're all rubbish anyway. They overquote their numbers, and when I had that tuning box on, there was some days in the morning when you drive away it would just stall, so that was the downside of that tuning box. And I did take it off eventually because there was a day when I was going home from work and it just started making like a rattling noise, so like someone's put bolts in your engine. So I just stopped, turned the engine off and pulled it all out, and yeah, just got rid of it. But I must say it did last its warranty period, which is about 3 years, but I just thought, nah, I don't really want to even put it back on because it just made such a horrible noise. So it felt like engine broke down, but it obviously didn't. After that I did get a generic map on the engine, and the map I had was for 5 years roughly. So first 3 years, well no, 4 years. First year I was without anything, then I had tuning box, and then after that I changed for the map, so probably 3 years map it was then. Yeah, 3 years. Anyway, so in short, that probably wasn't the problem, because when I did speak to the mechanics, they said if it would have been a bad map, then you would have a DPF problems, clogging up, etc., which I didn't experience. So I don't know if that's true or not, we'll never find out. But the other problem I did had was running forward, obviously, with putting rebuild engine in, etc. They did say that my injectors, 3 of the injectors, weren't performing as well as they should. From my point of view, what happened was, I think the biggest problem was the injectors, which were under fueling, and I had supposedly cracked piston. I don't really know 100% because I had to send my engine in return for warranty. So they did send me some images. I couldn't personally see, but they said that it was cracked piston what caused. The problem I experienced was I was driving the motorway, saying that, lucky I had to turn off the motorway just to go to do the job I was going to do, and that's when it actually happened. I lost power as I were in a lay-by sort of thing, and I managed to limp for a couple of miles to the workplace I had to be, and that's where you're going to see the video where my van gets taken, put on a bed, taken to the garage afterwards. Also, what I noticed when I did lose the power, as I was trying to get to the place of work, which was a couple miles from where it happened, luckily I must say, I managed to limp there just about. So I had a smell coming from the engine bay, oil smell, burning oil smell, which appeared when I got there. It was oil being pushed out of the filler cap, oil filler cap, so there was a back pressure. Not that I'm a mechanic and I know a lot about it, but there's a pressure, which obviously means a problem. So that's another thing what I've noticed. So loss of power and oil smell coming in, and yeah, so luckily I managed to get as far as I needed and parked the van up, etc. and yeah, and then it was towed away. In regards of warning signs, it was like a lack of power for a very short period of time. I don't think you would notice it. It's like a short break, hesitation, and that was it. So I didn't really notice anything to give me a telltale sign that something is wrong. Unfortunately, it seemed to perform as it performed until obviously it happened. So the only thing now, after obviously I've gone through this process, I would say what you could do is check your injectors, I don't know, every 20,000 miles or something, just to make sure they're performing as well as they should, because that apparently was the problem I had, going by what I've been told. Obviously I'm never gonna know 100% if that's true, but yeah, that's what I got told, because the injectors I used have originally in my van, they got sent to be checked before we fitted it onto the rebuilt engine, reconditioned engine, and 3 out of 4 injectors were faulty or not performing as they should. So we believe that that's what caused the damage. Overfueling or underfueling, I don't know, you name it. So in fact, when we had some reconditioned injectors sent, we had the same problem. We had a loud knocking noise under hard acceleration when the new engine was, or reconditioned engine was fitted in, and we had a loud knocking noise, which I didn't have, I must say, with my old injectors, which were underperforming. But it just shows that even a new reconditioned injectors could be faulty ones. But yeah, we got them replaced and now it all works fine. But yeah, there was that, which I nearly forgot to mention. So some say that these engines don't like being overloaded, which possibly could have caused it, because obviously sometimes you buy materials, etc., and I don't know, it's a van, it should take the weight, should take the load, so I don't know if that caused it. It's hard to tell, obviously no one will be able to tell, only mechanics who deal actually with the engine. So if someone is watching this video, please comment below what you think could be most likely the issue, or what is common issue with these engines. Be happy to hear your thoughts, obviously what could have been the cause of it. As for the cost involved, so the reconditioned engine cost me £2,000. Labour was £3,500, and then all the other parts. So I got like a clutch, we had to get new injectors, so injectors were about £1,200, clutch and everything else was 600 something. Clutch, dual mass flywheel. So when you do get this work done, I would suggest you change as many things as you can, because obviously the engine is out of the vehicle, and bear in mind my clutch and dual mass flywheel was said 60,000 miles, so I thought I will get that changed, because obviously yeah, saying that, my pedal was getting at the very top, so that would have to been done some point. So that was done whilst the engine was out. Then the valve cover was new fitted, because that was advised by Ford. Also all the piping, which for fuel rail, etc., that was new. So total cost for me was, with all the bits and pieces, was just under £9,000. I think it was 8,750. Mostly if your injectors were good, then you would save £1,200, but in my case they weren't. So, but I would say you would need to check them anyway, and I think checking the injectors was about £160, all injectors, if I'm not wrong, or 120, one or the other, 120 or 150. So all those things added, it cost me £8,750. 80 years, well, I guess it's the running cost. I'm gonna have to spread it over as a running cost. Not that I would like to, but that does happen. So after my engine was fitted, I've done 1,000 miles, and I've changed an oil again, and this time I have gone to get a map done specific to my vehicle on the rolling road. Another thing I wanted to say, the map I had was pushing out 190 horsepower, I think, and 400 newton meters of torque, but in general map was okay, but the only thing what the guys told me that it didn't have any safety features added in, like if it feels that it's gonna overheat, some sort of, you know, cutoff, so it saves the engine. So that wasn't there, but they said in general map wasn't too bad. It wasn't perfect, but it wasn't the worst one they've seen, so that makes me think it might not have been a map, it was just maybe unlucky that, yeah, injectors failed, and that's what caused the damage to the engine. As these engines get mapped quite a lot, I'm not the only one. And now after the remap, so they've reduced slightly power to 180 horsepower, 185, and the torque is up to 435 from 400, and you do feel it in a town driving, because that was my biggest downside of the previous map. So it would sort of be hesitant at lower RPM, which is who owns these vans, they'll know that around 30 miles an hour it's quite sluggish, so that has improved that. And the tuner I've used this time is Pendle tuning, but I went into a garage which is like a dealer, if you like, and they do their maps, TH Performance, I believe. So also what I want to share, the things you can do, obviously check your oil, change it regularly, because that obviously will help your engine health. Don't run it too long. Even though I did it, my problem was obviously the injectors. Now I'll know that every now and again I have to ask for them to be checked, just as a precaution, because if you do all the other things right, then obviously you cut down those possible issues to the minimum. And if I would have known, say 30,000 in miles or 40,000 in, I would have checked, I would have known that they work not correctly, then that could have been rectified, replaced, and instead of nearly £9,000 you would probably be £1,500 or £2,000 out of pocket, which is a lot better than being out as much as I was out. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you, and yeah, hope you don't have to go through this process, and hope this video will actually save someone's van so they can check injectors, and if they are faulty, deal with them. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this video, and I will catch up with you in a bit.